Morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
We know you've been this one.
Okay, great.
All right, let me get my stuff here. All right,
I don't know how you staying warm out there, Carrie. Look at you. Cold is out there, right?
Yes, my coat is out
Okay.
there.
all right. This will be about a 15-minute interview. Each council member will have a question for you. Just so you know, everything that we do here is being videotaped, and we'll play on the Bowie cable TV sometime after the conclusion of all the interviews. You'll have 15 minutes to answer those questions. I suggest to you that, since you're going to have questions from everybody, time management in your answers is probably appropriate for you to decide how you want to do that. And at the end of the questions, I'll give you a minute or so to give us anything that you want to leave behind, any message you want to leave behind. With that, I'll start the questions for this one with Mr. Stepp.
Good morning.
Good morning.
This question is specific to District 3. The Sears location at Bowie Town Center is closing. The owners of the property are planning a mixed-use development on the site. What are your thoughts on the matter?
I think mixed use is a great, it will be great for that facility. If we're trying to keep up with our neighbors, Annapolis and College Park and Lanham, they're already using mixed use facilities. And as long as it's a high-end apartment complex or condo on top of the Sears building, I see that as a plus for the city.
Mr. Marcos.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you very much for being here and your interest in our wonderful city. My question also deals with development, and it is a two-part question. How do you feel about going forward with residential and commercial development in Bowie, and what do you think the relationship between the county and Bowie should be with regards to that development?
Bowie is a progressively forward-moving city, so I think economic growth and development is key. I just mentioned that we need to keep up with our neighbors, Annapolis, College Park, as well as Laurel. Having economic development in the city also helps the homeowner because it takes a burden off of us. Hence, one of the reasons why we have not had a tax increase in the last 9 years. As far as a partnership with the county, as long as we're transparent and open to the constituents in this city, I don't see that as a problem. I see that as a plus.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Dr. Trell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you, Ms. Bridges, for being here to interview for the position of District 3 council member. My question is, what do you think is the most important issue in Bowie, and how do you plan to make improvements?
My trash is picked up on time every day. If they're doing maintenance on the water, I get a notice far ahead in advance. If my alarm system goes off, the police responds in a prompt manner. I don't see Public Works or any of those things as being a problem. What I do see as a problem would be in the summertime with our young teen population. There are not enough job opportunities or internships available to those individuals. So idle mind is the devil's workshop. So they loiter around the city and they cause problems, and not necessarily because they want to cause problems, but because they don't have anything to do. And schools are now career and college ready, so we have realized that most kids are not going to college and they want to get into careers. So if the city could partner with Bowie High School, which is the high school that serves this city the most, and with these local businesses to allow those kids to do an internship over the summer, those juniors that are turning, that will be seniors in the fall, that will be great. And it's also an opportunity for them to receive their community service hours, which is a graduation requirement. So that's the only problem that I see within this great city that we live in.
Mr. Gardner.
I'm lost in her statement. I am. I have to tell you I am. Thank you again, Ms. Bridges, for coming out on this cold day. I was lost in your statement. Very good. It is my opinion that local government is the most important level of government. Explain why you either agree with me or disagree.
I 100% agree with you. Local government is very important, and there are probably two reasons why it's important. One reason is it allows a structure to offer services to people that live in that city or that municipality. Like Bowie, for instance, we have our own water, our own police department, public works, snow removal, we pave our own roads. And another reason why it's important is because it allows the constituents in that city to have a large voice and to feel as though they are intimately involved in the people they pick that will represent them. So I think it's extremely important.
Thank you, Ms. Bridges. Thank
You're
you.
Mr. Wolfley.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and thank you for coming in this morning, and thank you for volunteering your services for the community. Appreciate that.
You're welcome.
My question for you is, to date, how have you chosen to serve the city of Bowie? For example, have you served on city committees, run for office, been on a HOA, PTA, or the like? And part two of that is, how will that help you represent your constituents if you're elected, or it's elected, excuse me?
I have been involved with South Bowie Boys and Girls Club for the last 10 years, and even though my kids have aged out of that program, I'm still involved, hence why I'm dressed the way I'm dressed today, because I have about 60 to 80 kids, ages 4 to 7, playing basketball games at the Bowie City Gym. So once I leave here, I plan to rush right back over there. I've also been a member of the Communities Recreation Committee since 2016, and I am the current chair of that committee. I think it will help me because I have a direct ear and I'm in direct sight of the individuals that are in District 3. So I've been at the gym this morning with about 60 kids, and each of them have their parents, their grandparents there, and I'm always there shaking hands, introducing myself so they could put a face with the name, because I do send out emails. So I think it will help me tremendously, and when there's an issue with the court or the field, they come to me and say, hey, you know, we know you're part of that Recs committee for the city. This is an issue that we're having. How can we get it resolved? So.
Excellent, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. What I'm going to give you an opportunity to do is tell us whatever you think is important to leave a message behind about Carrie Bridges.
So I'm a mom. I have a 16-year-old, a 14-year-old, and they attend Bowie High School, and I have a 13-year-old Princess, and she attends Benjamin Tasker. I've lived in this city for 21 years, and I've owned my home for 20 of the 21 years that I've been here. I'm also a teacher at Duval High School. I am intimately involved in South Bowie Boys and Girls Club, and I chair the CRC, the Communities Recreation Committee. On Monday, I was at a press conference with the county executive, Angela Alsobrooks, and she made it clear what her two priorities were for the youth in Prince George's County. Priority number 1 is education, and priority number 2 is youth sports. How amazing would it be to have someone to sit on the city council whose resume mirror her priorities in this county?
All right, well, thank you. And as I recall, I saw you there at that.
Yes, we were there. We were there together.
And I, for one, was incredibly impressed with Mrs. Alsobrooks' comments.
Yes.
All right, well, thank you very much. The process will continue. Like I say, we're going to be doing interviews on Tuesday night and Wednesday night. And when that is concluded, hopefully we'll make a quick decision.
One more thing, I do plan to run.
I'm sorry?
I do plan to run in the November election.
Okay.
November the 5th.
All right, thank you, ma'am. Good
Thank
luck
you
to
so much.
Enjoy the rest of your morning at the gym.
Okay, thanks so much. Have a good day, guys.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bridges, for coming out today.